Hello dear students, very good morning to everyone. In continuation of the topic vector algebra, today we are going to discuss about the particular part. It is called vector product of two vectors. Okay. Earlier in the classes we have discussed about scalar product of two vectors. Today's discussion is vector product of two vector. Okay. So you know, in this particular chapter there will be a 5 marks allotted and one question of 4 marks, one question of 1 marks will asked. Easy chapter, scoring chapter, and if you go through this and understand it, definitely we can score it. Okay. So please concentrate in the class and go through the videos thoroughly so that you can understand it. Okay. So without wasting time, we are going to start directly. What is vector product of two vectors? You see two vectors, this is one vector, a vector, and this is another vector. Their rotation is like that. Okay. I suppose that rotation is what? Anti-clockwise. Okay. Better you understand like that. Suppose that this is one vector and this is another vector, and their rotation is what? Anti-clockwise. The vector perpendicular to this vector and that vector is called this vector. This vector is called what? This is the vector. Okay. This vector is called what? Cross product of, that is a vector product of the two vectors. Suppose this is a vector, this is what? B vector, then A cross B is what? Perpendicular to both A vector and B vector. So this is the plane. Okay. In this plane, A vector is one vector, other vector is this one, and A cross B is a vector like that. A cross B is a vector perpendicular to what? Both A vector and B vector. Its direction is towards this. Okay. And along this direction there is a unit vector. This unit vector is denoted by what? N cap. What is n cap? N cap is the unit vector perpendicular to what? A vector and B vector. Or you can say n cap is the unit vector perpendicular to the plane. ये जो plane में है, A vector and B vector lies on the plane. So n cap is the unit vector perpendicular to the plane containing A vector and B vector. Okay. This is the basic concept. Okay. And in opposite direction, this is the vector perpendicular to what? A and B, and it is called A cross B. In its opposite direction, there is a vector that is called minus A cross B, and which is also perpendicular to what? A vector and B vector. And along each direction, the unit vector is what? Minus n cap. If it is n cap, it will be minus n cap. Okay. And how to define the there is a vector product of two vectors. It is denoted by the symbol A cross B and defined as magnitude of A into what? A cross B equal to what? Magnitude of A into magnitude of B into what? Sin theta n cap. Okay. So this is the magnitude of this vector, and n cap will give the direction of the vector. Therefore, magnitude of A cross B is equal to, if you take magnitude, it will be magnitude of A, it is already magnitude hai, magnitude of B into what? Sin theta. Okay. And the unit, that is magnitude of n cap, it is a unit vector, and therefore what happened? There is 1. What is n cap? N cap is the unit vector perpendicular to the plane containing A vector and B vector. जो plane है उस plane की perpendicular है. This is what? In this direction, n cap. Okay, along this direction of A cross B. A cross B is in this direction, and A cross B is perpendicular to the plane, and therefore n cap is perpendicular to the plane containing A vector and B vector. This is actually magnitude of A cross B. Now we are going to explain what is the geometrical interpretation of A cross B. ये magnitude actually geometrically क्या होती है? What it actually represent? Okay. Let us we are going to discuss. Before that, if suppose that if both the vector are what? Same. And that is what will be what if suppose theta equal to 0, then what happen? You can say theta is 0 means the vector is not parallel you can say both the vector are what parallel. दो वेक्टर पैरेलल होगा तो दोनों का बीच क्या होगा एंगल 0 डिग्री होगा. एंड इन दिस केस A क्रॉस B इक्वल टू व्हाट क्या होगा. सी बिकॉज यू सी थीटा इक्वल टू 0 मीन्स साइन थीटा इक्वल टू 0 एंड आई एम सॉरी साइन थीटा 0 हो जाएगी थीटा 0 होने से. दिस वैल्यू विल बी 0 एंड अल्टीमेटली दिस इज 0 इंटू एन कैप इक्वल टू व्हाट 0 वेक्टर. ओके, so if theta equal to the 0 then the vector are parallel, and when the vector are parallel A cross B equal to 0. This is the condition that two vectors are parallel. Okay, this is the condition that two vectors are parallel. In particular if A and B are same then A cross A is equal to what 0 vector. दोनों वेक्टर अगर सेम हो जाए दोनों वेक्टर का क्रॉस प्रोडक्ट क्या है 0 होगा. डॉट प्रोडक्ट में क्या था A डॉट A इक्वल टू व्हाट मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ A होल स्क्वायर. बट इन क्रॉस प्रोडक्ट A वेक्टर क्रॉस A वेक्टर इज इक्वल टू व्हाट 0 इफ A and B are same. A and B are same vector. Okay, where what happen A vector is equal to what B vector. If it is so then what happen A cross A equal to what 0 vector. These two are the important results. Now you see this is coordinate system. This is a coordinate system, and here this is the unit vector along this I cap. This is j cap, and this is what k cap. Okay. Now I cross j क्या होगा I cross j इक्वल टू व्हाट ये I cross j का परपेंडिकुलर वेक्टर क्या है k, तो इट इज इक्वल टू व्हाट k cap. ठीक है, j क्रॉस k इक्वल टू क्या होगा j क्रॉस k j एंड k का परपेंडिकुलर वेक्टर क्या है I कैप होगा. तो दिस इज इक्वल टू I एंड ऑल्सो k क्रॉस I इक्वल टू व्हाट k क्रॉस I इज इक्वल टू व्हाट k क्रॉस I. दोनों वेक्टर क्या है ये दोनों वेक्टर का परपेंडिकुलर वेक्टर क्या होगा j कैप है. बिकॉज व्हाट हैपन k क्रॉस I और j क्रॉस k और I क्रॉस j all the vectors this is the Cartesian product of the I cap and j cap. Vector product of what I cap and j cap, and vector product of I cap and j cap is a vector which is perpendicular to both I cap and j cap. So from physically we say that I cap and j cap का perpendicular vector क्या है k cap होगा. So k cap is equal to I cross j. Similarly other. Okay, and here I am taking considering rotation is what anti-clockwise. Rotation is what anti-clockwise. If I say like that cyclic order, this is I cap, this is j cap, and this is what k cap. Okay, and I am considering the rotation is what anti-clockwise. Then I cross j equal to k cross I equal to j, and j cross k equal to what I हो जाएगा. And if the rotation I am considering the rotation is clockwise, then what will happen I cross k equal to what minus j. Okay, रोटेशन एंटी क्लॉकवाइज तो I क्रॉस j इक्वल टू क्या होगा I क्रॉस k इक्वल टू व्हाट माइनस j क्रॉस I इक्वल टू व्हाट माइनस k. ओके, k क्रॉस j इक्वल टू व्हाट माइनस I. इन दिस वे रोटेशन आप देखेंगे इन दिस वे इफ यू रोटेट अपोजिट डायरेक्शन क्लॉकवाइज डायरेक्शन I क्रॉस k क्या होगा माइनस j हो जाएगी, j क्रॉस I क्या होगा माइनस k होगा, k क्रॉस j क्या होगा माइनस I होगा. ठीक है, from here you can say I am taking I cross j. If I take j cross I then it will be minus k. I cross k we can get what minus j, and k cross j we will get what minus I. ठीक है, ये सारी चीज़ याद रख लेना. ठीक है, also I cross I is equal to what, also you see I cross I सेम वेक्टर का क्रॉस प्रोडक्ट क्या होती है 0 होती है. तो I cross I is equal to what 0, j cross j equal to what 0, and k cross k equal to what 0. Okay, this is 0 vector. Okay, all are 0 vector. Understood? These are 0 vector. Since the left hand side is a vector, right hand side is also vector. Okay, so if it is a vector, it is also a vector. 0 because we know that null vector is represented by what this. Okay, so this is called 0 vector. Okay. Understood? So these are the about what cross vector product of two vector. It is the basic definition. The magnitude is given by this, and from here sin theta equal to you can get a relation magnitude of A cross B divided by magnitude of A into magnitude of B. What is n cap? N cap is the unit vector perpendicular to A vector and B vector. If theta equal to 0, then both the vector may be parallel. दो वेक्टर अगर पैरेलल हो तो दोनों के बीच में एंगल क्या होगा, 0 डिग्री होगा, तब जाके A क्रॉस B इक्वल टू 0 होगा. A क्रॉस B 0 मीन्स बोथ द वेक्टर आर पैरेलल. ओके, दो वेक्टर का क्रॉस प्रोडक्ट 0 है मीन्स दोनों का वेक्टर क्या है, क्या होगा, पैरेलल होगा. एंड इफ द वेक्टर आर सेम, if the vector are what, same, both the vector are same, then A cross A equal to 0. From this we can get all the relation like that. It is equal to what, 0. And this is what, because of the directions I cross J equal to what, K Y, from the definition. Okay, from the definition we can get, because I cross J, क्योंकि I cross J क्या होगा, I cross J आप इस फॉर्मूला को यूज़ करें, magnitude of I, magnitude of J into sine theta is what, between I and J is, because both are perpendicular, so sine 90 degree into n cap. ओके, I and J की I क्रॉस J जो वेक्टर होगा उस वो वेक्टर क्या होगा, इस प्लेन की क्या होगा, परपेंडिकुलर होगा. तो x एक्सिस एंड y एक्सिस की परपेंडिकुलर क्या है, इट इज z एक्सिस. ओके, z एक्सिस है, ठीक है, z एक्सिस है, एंड z एक्सिस की डायरेक्शन में यूनिट वेक्टर क्या है, k कैप है. सो दिस n कैप इज रिप्लेस बाय व्हाट, k कैप. ठीक है, k कैप से रिप्लेस हो जाएगा. तो ये 1 होगा, ये 1 होगा, ये 1 होगा, अल्टीमेटली क्या हो रहा है, k कैप हो रहा है. दैट्स व्हाई I क्रॉस J इक्वल टू k. सिमिलरली अदर ऑल्सो. ओके, ये डायरेक्शन अगर एंटी क्लॉकवाइज हो तो दिस इज द रिजल्ट, और डायरेक्शन अगर क्लॉकवाइज हो तो रिजल्ट क्या होगा, नेगेटिव आएगी. ठीक है, तो उस हिसाब से आप लोग याद रखना होगा. ओके, नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस अबाउट ज्योमेट्रिकल इंटरप्रिटेशन ऑफ A क्रॉस B. ओके, वेक्टर प्रोडक्ट ऑफ टू वेक्टर्स का जो ज्योमेट्रिकल इंटरप्रिटेशन है, वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस द ज्योमेट्रिकल इंटरप्रिटेशन. ओके, दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. व्हाट एक्चुअली मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ A क्रॉस B. तो A क्रॉस B का जो मैग्नीट्यूड है ना, वो क्या है, व्हाट एक्चुअली इट रिप्रेजेंट्स, दिस पर्टिकुलर अमाउंट क्या है, what geometrically it represent, we are going to discuss now. Okay, let us suppose that this is A vector and this is B vector making an angle, some angle. Okay, and in the same in this direction there is another vector parallel to this same vector, OA and CB magnitude are what, same, and OC and AB magnitude are same, and finally we can draw a parallelogram. What is the parallelogram? OABC is the parallelogram, right? In this parallelogram, what happened? This vector A vector and B vector representing A vector and B vector representing the adjacent sides of parallelogram. Parallelogram का दो adjacent sides को represent किया है, A vector and B vector, and finally we get this parallelogram. Okay, we join these 2 points diagonal, ये diagonal हमने join किया है, and we draw a perpendicular, suppose CD, perpendicular CD on what, OA. Okay, now in this particular triangle, in triangle OAC, and suppose this angle is what, suppose theta. Okay, in triangle OAC you see what is the area, or you can say area triangle OAC क्या होगा, area triangle OAC, what is the area equal to what, we know that half into base into altitude. Base is what, OA, altitude क्या है, CD. Okay, altitude what is CD. So area of this particular triangle, this particular OAC is what, base into what, half into base into altitude. ये हमें पता है, ठीक है. Okay, OA means what, you can say OA equal to what, magnitude of what, this vector. Magnitude of the vector is represented by what, this, it is equal to what, A. So it can be write A. Understood? Or you can write magnitude of A, no issue. Now CD is, you see, from this particular small right angle triangle, this is a right angle triangle since it is 90 degree. From this right angle triangle ODC, what you will get, OD by, that is a CD by OC equal to what? Sin theta from this triangle, okay, perpendicular by hypotenuse, and from here CD equal to what? OC sin theta, OC sin theta, okay. And what is OC? OC equal to what? Magnitude of B vector. You can write magnitude of B vector into what? Sin theta. Okay. So from this relation, you see this is what? CD, okay. And CD can be replaced by what? Magnitude of A vector. Hey, or CD is what? Magnitude of B vector into what? Sin theta. Into what? Sin theta. Okay. And which can be written as half into this. Actually, this result is actually what? Magnitude of A cross B, as per our definition of what? That is vector product of two vectors. Magnitude of A cross B equal to magnitude of A into magnitude of B into sin theta. जो n कैप क्या है, n कैप क्या हो जाएगा, उसका मैग्नीट्यूड क्या हो जाएगा? 1 होगा. So ultimately what we get from this area of triangle OSC, ये जो है, this is the area of a triangle OSC. From here we can develop one thing, half into A vector क्या है? OA vector and B vector क्या है? OC vector. Okay. Now you see this is your triangle actually. This is your triangle and this is O, this is A and this is what? C. This is the vector and these are the two adjacent sides of a particular triangle. Okay, adjacent side of a particular triangle. Considering this point, okay, what is the area? Half into magnitude of what? OA vector cross what? OC vector. This is your area. If the question asks find the area of the triangle whose adjacent side are given by these two, okay, which two adjacent sides are represented by the vector, okay. Or suppose that आपको दिया गया है, suppose coordinate of 3 points are given, okay, then you can find the position vector of corresponding points, and then find this vector after getting the position vector of the points. इसका position vector आपको अगर मिले, if you get the position vector, what you will get? You can get the OA vector. OA vector equal to what? Position vector of terminal point minus position vector of what? Initial point. Similarly, OC vector equal to what? Position vector of terminal point minus position vector of what? Initial point. In this way you can find OC vector and OA vector. ये दोनों मिलने के बाद आप फॉर्मूला में पुट करके निकाल सकते हैं. और इफ़ यू कंसीडर सपोज दिस पॉइंट, अगर इस पॉइंट को ले तो आप यू कैन टेक द वेक्टर इन दिस डायरेक्शन. तो आपका फॉर्मूला इस एरिया ऑफ द ट्राइंगल का फॉर्मूला क्या होगा? हाफ इंटू SC वेक्टर क्रॉस AO वेक्टर, ऐसा कुछ होगा, या AO वेक्टर क्रॉस SC वेक्टर होगा. ठीक है. सो इन दिस वे यू कैन टेक कोई भी एक पॉइंट ले लीजिए. इफ़ यू कंसीडर दिस पॉइंट देन योर एरिया विल बी हाफ इंटू CO वेक्टर क्रॉस CA वेक्टर. ओके. So basically we will take like this. Okay, this is the area of the triangle. So on this particular concept questions will be there, and points that is vertices of a triangle will be given, and from the vertices you are going to find the side vector. We'll find the what? Side vector, and finally you can apply this, you will get the area of the triangle. Okay. Now from the figure it you see this triangle and this triangle are what? Similar triangle. Both triangle are with representing same area. If this area and that area will be same, sum of these two area is equal to what? Total area of the parallelogram. Okay. So from here you can write area of the parallelogram. Area of the parallelogram. You can write parallelogram is written like that. Area of the parallelogram. What is the parallelogram? OA. Area of the parallelogram. In short you write in short. Okay. Area of the parallelogram OABC is equal to what? 2 into area. What is the area? Area of the triangle OAC. ठीक है. Now what is the area of the triangle OSC? It is equal to half into magnitude of what? A cross B. 2 cancel होगा, which is equal to what? Magnitude of A cross B. ठीक है, तो finally what we get this exactly magnitude of A cross B representing what? Area of the parallelogram. Okay, magnitude of A cross B representing what? Area of the parallelogram OABC in which 2 adjacent sides of the parallelogram are represented by what? A vector and B vector. So magnitude of A cross B representing the area of the parallelogram whose adjacent sides are represented by what? A vector and B vector. So final statement you can write, if A vector and B vector are representing the 2 adjacent sides of a parallelogram, then what is magnitude of A cross B? Magnitude of A cross B representing the area of that particular parallelogram. Okay. Now this is one particular diagonal and this is another diagonal. Okay, this is what? Another diagonal. Okay, now see if this is a vector, this will be also a vector, and if it is B vector, then it is also B vector. Okay, if you consider the triangle OAB triangle से क्या होगा? OAB triangle से क्या मिलेगा? अभी ट्राइंगल लॉ ऑफ वेक्टर से क्या मिल रहा है? OA वेक्टर प्लस व्हाट? AB वेक्टर इक्वल टू व्हाट? OB वेक्टर. So this is OB is one diagonal vector. Okay, this is one diagonal. Okay, so OB vector is equal to what? OB vector is equal to what? Ultimate OA vector क्या है? A vector plus B vector. ठीक है, A vector plus B vector. This is A vector and this is what? B vector. And again from the triangle, see if you consider this particular triangle OCA, so another diagonal is this OCA. From triangle OCA you will get, you see, this vector plus this vector, that means OC vector plus CA vector equal to what? OA vector. ठीक है, तो since this vector is in this direction and then same direction and it is what? Opposite of this, therefore this plus this is the resultant of what? This vector is representing what? Resultant of this vector and that vector. Sum of this vector is equal to what? A vector. Okay, understood? By vector law of addition. So OC vector and OC vector क्या है? OC vector is equal to what? B vector, and CA vector we do not know. We are going to find CA vector, and Y vector equal to what? A vector. And from here you can write CA vector equal to what? A vector minus what? B vector. So if A vector and B vector representing 2 adjacent sides of a parallelogram, then one diagonal will be what? A vector plus B vector, and other diagonal will be what? A vector minus B vector. This is my intention to express. Okay, so diagonal vector क्या होगा? A vector plus B vector and A vector minus B vector. Now one interesting result we are going to develop. Okay, one particular interesting result. The result is, suppose A vector cross A vector plus B vector cross A vector minus B vector क्या होगा? Which is equal to, you can explain, it will be A vector cross A vector, then what? B vector cross A vector, then what? Minus A vector cross B vector. Okay, and finally B vector cross B vector. Okay, this is the multiplication. I hope you understand. A cross A सेम वेक्टर का क्रॉस प्रोडक्ट क्या होता है? 0 देता है, ये 0 हो जाएगा, ये 0 हो जाएगा. And B cross A can be written as what? B cross A can be written as what? Minus A cross B. ठीक है, and it is also already minus A cross B, and finally you are getting 2 into what? Minus 2 into A cross B. ठीक है, तो इसके बाद दोनों साइड में अगर मैग्नीट्यूड लिया जाए, इफ यू टेक मैग्नीट्यूड you will get A vector cross B vector, I'm sorry, A vector plus B vector cross A vector minus B vector if you take magnitude on both side, then this minus 2 क्या होगा, plus 2 होगा into magnitude of what, A cross B. From here you can get an interesting results which equal to magnitude of A cross B is equal to half into magnitude of what, A vector plus B vector cross A vector minus B vector. Okay, what actually it represents? Left hand side is the area of the parallelogram. Area of the parallelogram with adjacent sides A and B, A vector and B vector, is equal to half into one diagonal. One diagonal, suppose it is C, okay, and other diagonal, suppose it is D, okay, where C is one diagonal vector, okay, and D is what, other diagonal vector. D is what, other diagonal. ठीक है, तो आपको क्या मिल रहा है, एरिया ऑफ द पैरेललोग्राम कैन बी रिटन इन दिस फॉर्मूला आल्सो, हाफ इंटू C क्रॉस D. What is C? C is one diagonal, D is another diagonal. If in your questions it is not given that adjacent side is not given, adjacent vector, adjacent side जो रिप्रेजेंट करने वाला जो वेक्टर है वो वेक्टर अगर क्वेश्चन में नहीं हो, आपको दिया गया है diagonal of the parallelograms are represented by two vector, find its area. Then what happen, you cannot apply the formula like A cross, ये आप यूज़ नहीं कर सकते, because A and B are not the adjacent side vector, these are diagonal vectors. So अगर diagonal दिया जाए तो half into this, ये formula आपको यूज़ करना होगा. ठीक है, you have to be very careful about that. Okay, when diagonal is given and you can find the area of the parallelogram with diagonal vectors by this half into, just half multiply करना है, and adjacent side will be given, then just magnitude of the vectors, magnitude of the cross product of two vector ये होगा, और इसमें क्या होगा, half multiply होगा. So this is very interesting result. Okay, these are the two important facts. If the vectors are given, two vectors are given in terms of their component, then A cross B by normal क्रॉस प्रोडक्ट लेके आप डिड्यूस कर सकते हो. इफ़ यू कैन डिड्यूस एंड फाइनली यू कैन गेट A क्रॉस B कैन बी एक्सप्रेस इन टर्म्स ऑफ व्हाट, डिटर्मिनेंट. सो फर्स्ट रो विल बी ijk and second row will be what, component of what, this vector, component of what, A vector. Then second vector you write the third row represented by the component of what, second vector, and you expand it, you will get the A cross B. Another point is that what is the unit vector perpendicular to A vector and B vector. Yes, this is your A vector and this is your suppose B vector. This is A vector and this is what, B vector. Then A cross B is what, A cross B is what, perpendicular. ऐसा perpendicular होगा. ठीक है, A cross B is what, perpendicular to what, both the vector. Okay, A and B. ठीक है, so this is A cross B. So along A cross B there is an unit vector n cap. ठीक है, तो A, what is the unit vector perpendicular to A vector and B vector? This is the unit vector. Okay, how to get the unit vector since n cap is along A cross B? तो n cap क्या होगा, n cap equal to what, the vector divided by its magnitude. Yes or no? Is what, magnitude. This is the unit vector in the direction of what, A, in the direction of A cross B, means what, perpendicular to A vector and B vector. And since there is another unit vector, already you know there is another unit vector, if this unit vector, this A cross B in this direction perpendicular, ऐसा direction में होगा, और in this direction what happen, this n cap will be there, and its opposite direction there will be a vector which is perpendicular to what, A vector and B vector, which is what, minus A cross B. Okay, and in this direction what happened, there is a unit vector what, minus n cap. So that's why one is plus, another is what, minus, that means plus minus. Okay, this plus is represented by this vector n cap and minus is represented by what, this one. So there are two unit vector perpendicular to what, A and B, perpendicular to what, A and B. So whenever question asks find the unit vector perpendicular to two given vector, what you will do? You will find A cross B by this particular result and then take magnitude and sign will be plus minus. Okay, it's very simple way. Okay, this is the first question of the class. Find the unit vector perpendicular to the vectors A vector plus B vector and A vector minus B vector, where A vector is given and B vector is given. You have to find the unit vector perpendicular to what? A vector plus B vector and A vector minus B vector. If you suppose that a C vector, A vector is represented by, suppose A plus B is represented by what? C vector, and A minus B, A vector minus B vector is represented by what? D vector. Then you have to find the unit vector perpendicular to what? C vector and D vector. So what is the unit vector perpendicular to this? C cross D divided by what? Magnitude of C cross D. Okay, and before that there will be plus minus. This actually your unit vector perpendicular to what? C vector and D vector. Okay, so to know this you have to know C cross D. That means you have to know A plus B, then A minus B. Okay, so first you find A plus B. A plus B you can very easily calculate. A plus B equal to this and A minus B equal to what? This one. We suppose that A plus B is C vector and A minus B is what? D vector. Now our purpose is to find what? C cross D, and C cross D by determinant rule, first ijk, second row will be component of C vector and third row will be component of what? D vector. After calculation you will get this is the, after expanding the determinant you will get this is the C cross D, and now magnitude of C cross D is equal to what? 24. Okay, then what is the unit vector? Therefore you can write the unit vector perpendicular to C vector and D vector is this. Okay, and which can be plus minus. Magnitude क्या है? 24 है, और C cross D क्या है? 16 I cap minus 16 J cap minus 8 K cap. Okay, and finally you take common, 4 common ले सकते हैं या 8 common ले सकते हैं. 8 कॉमन लेने के बाद क्या रिजल्ट होगा? प्लस माइनस नीचे क्या होगा? इट विल बी 3 एंड इट विल बी व्हाट 2i कैप minus 2j cap minus k cap. This is the unit vector what? Perpendicular to what? A plus B and A minus B. So there will be 2 unit vector. Okay, there will be what? 2 unit vector. Understood? This is the question you see. Find the value of lambda and mu where this vector cross this vector is equal to what? 0 vector. Very, very interesting result is that before going to solve, you know that if A cross B is equal to what? 0 vector, we already show you that both the vector are what? Parallel. Okay, both the vector are parallel. Also we know that in the last chapter, if A vector and B vector are given by suppose A1 I cap plus B1 j cap plus C1 k cap in terms of their component, suppose these two vector, okay, A2 I cap plus B2 j cap plus C2 k cap, okay, these are the two vectors given in terms of their component, then we know that A vector is parallel to what? B vector if and only if their corresponding components are in the ratios, mean direction ratios are in ratios. Okay, this is the actually two vector are parallel, then this is the condition, corresponding components are in the ratios. Okay, now this is a vector and this is another vector. Cross product of both the vector are what? 0 vector, means that both vector are what? Parallel vector. Both vector are parallel vector and therefore their corresponding component will be in the ratio. Okay, so you start the solution like that. You suppose that let A vector is equal to what? 2 I cap plus 6 j cap plus 27 k cap, and B vector is equal to what? I cap plus lambda j cap plus mu k cap. Okay, since A vector cross B vector equal to what? 0 vector, implies the both the vector are what? Parallel, implies their corresponding ratios, corresponding component are in the ratio 2 by 1 is equal to 6 by lambda equal to 27 by what? Mu. Corresponding component are in the ratio. If you take these two results, therefore lambda is equal to what? If this two equation, if this part you can take, then lambda equal to what? 6 and lambda equal to what? Lambda equal to what? 3. Okay. And if you take this one and that one, and you will get 2 equal to what? 27 by mu, and from here you can write mu equal to what? That is 27 by 2. So easily you can find the value of mu and lambda if you know the basic idea and concept. Okay, so concept को link करना आपके लिए बहुत ज़रूरी है. So कहाँ से ये this for this condition it is parallel, and again parallel होने से condition this, so all this concept to be linked and try to solve the question. Okay, this is a very nice question, an important one for you. The question is, if A is A, B, C with coordinate is given, the vertices of a triangle, okay, vertices of a triangle, and you have to find the area of the triangle what? ABC. ठीक है, आपको triangle ABC का area निकालना है if the vertices are given. Already I have given a concept to you. If you consider this is the adjacent side, one adjacent and the other adjacent side of a particular triangle, okay, triangle का ये adjacent दोनों adjacent side अगर लिया जाए, then what will be the area? Area is what? Half into magnitude of what? AB cross AC. This is the area of the triangle. Okay, so our job will be what? To find what? AB vector and AC vector. Since the corresponding endpoints are given, so position vector of A will be what? I cap plus j cap plus 2 k cap, and position vector of this is what? 2 I cap plus 3 j cap plus 5 k cap, and position vector of C will be I cap plus 5 j cap plus 5 k cap, and from here you can find AB vector is what? Terminal point minus initial point. Terminal point minus initial point, you can get AC vector. Okay, so how to start? The position vectors of A, B and C are क्या है? What are the position vector? I cap plus 2 j cap, 2 k cap. Second one is 2 I cap plus 3 j cap plus 5 k cap, and finally it is what? I cap plus 5 j cap plus 5 k cap. Okay, so let us find AB vector. Therefore AB vector equal to what? Position vector of B minus position vector of what? A. So position vector of B is what? This is B, 2 minus I cap, that is 2 j cap, and this is what? 3 k cap. Okay, this is AB vector. And what is SC vector? SC vector is what? Position vector of C minus position vector of what? A. This minus this. So this I cancel, 5 j cap minus 4 j cap, and 5 k cap, this 3 k cap. Okay, already we get what? AB and SC vector. Okay, AB vector and SC vector. Now to find AB cross SC, that means cross product, दोनों का क्रॉस प्रोडक्ट लिया जाए. ठीक है, therefore AB cross SC vector is equal to what? By using the determinant I cap, j cap and k cap. What is the component of first vector? 1, 2, 3, and second one is no I cap, 0, 4, 3. Okay, and if you expand it, you will get I cap equal to what? 6 minus 12, minus j cap is equal to what? It will be 3 minus 0, and k cap will be, what is k cap? K cap will be what? 4 minus 0. Okay, so it will be what? Minus 6 I cap, and this is minus 3 j cap plus 4 k cap. This is the AB cross SC vector. Now take the magnitude. The magnitude will be what? Therefore AB vector cross SC vector magnitude, इसका magnitude क्या होगा? Is equal to 36 plus 9 plus what? 16. I think what will be the result? it will be root over 61. It will be what? Root over 61, I think. 45, yes, root over 61. Therefore, area of triangle ABC equal to what? Half into magnitude of what? AB vector क्रॉस व्हाट SC वेक्टर, ठीक है। तो इससे क्या होगा? हाफ इंटू रूट ओवर व्हाट 61 स्क्वायर यूनिट। दिस इज द फाइनल आंसर। ओके, so we discuss about the basic concept regarding what cross product of two vectors, that is called vector product, okay, and its geometrical interpretation and few that is key points about what cross vector product of two vectors, okay. And also we have solved few questions. I hope you understand the class and go through this video thoroughly so that every step to be understand. Don't skip it, and if you skip then it will not be any benefit for you. So that's why I want to advise you that yes, go through the videos thoroughly so that you can understand from basic to solving the problems, okay, then you can get an idea, okay. And also previous class, that is वो जो previous class है that is about that is called scalar product of two vectors, where what is the condition of two vector are parallel and all the information you will get. What is the vector when they are perpendicular, what is the condition, everything you have to know, okay. So another more class I will take and I will finish the chapter, okay. Some questions will be solved in the next class regarding miscellaneous chapter, which is very, very important for you. So all the best. Thank you very much.